Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot.
Hi, this is Chinese Pod coming to you from Shanghai, China. We're here bringing you lessons in spoken Mandarin, making it easy for you, I hope, to learn that language. My name is Ken Carroll and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Jenny. Hello, Ken.
Hello, the inimitable Jenny Zhu, our resident teacher and guru of the Mandarin language. Now...
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm just being very generous today, but it's true. And I think you've chosen a very interesting topic here today, because I've seen requests recently.
By popular request.
So what are we actually talking about today?
We are talking about vegetarian eating.
Okay, we're talking about vegetarian food and eating vegetarian. If you are a vegetarian and if you got to visit China, it actually is not as easy as you might think to eat vegetarian.
We're a meat-loving nation.
Well, in fact, the quantity of meat, the ratio of meat to other things in China, I find is actually quite low.
Really?
Absolutely. As opposed to in the States where you get your big steaks and your big chunks of meat.
Yes.
But the problem is that in Chinese cooking, they tend to mix small amounts of meat with almost everything.
Yes.
And that's what you got to avoid.
So it's really important to tell people that you are a vegetarian.
Indeed, and you want to avoid that. Now, so I hope this lesson is suitable for new. It's a newbie lesson, right?
Yes.
But it's a slightly challenging newbie lesson. I think elementaries and beyond.
Vocab items,
I
but
think
very
so.
easy, very simple construction.
Indeed, but useful stuff. So now, our usual format is to listen to the dialogue and then to come back and to break it down for you. And I think we'll stick with that format right now. So let's hear that dialogue.
你有什么东西不吃吗？
我不吃肉，我吃素。
鸡蛋呢？
鸡蛋可以。
Second time. 你有什么东西不吃吗？
我不吃肉，我吃素。
鸡蛋呢？
鸡蛋可以。
Third time. 你有什么东西不吃吗？
我不吃肉，我吃素。
鸡蛋呢？
鸡蛋可以。
Now, if you would be so kind, Jenny, I
Let's
shall
translate.
Yes.
你有什么东西不吃吗？
Is there anything that you don't eat?
你有什么东西不吃吗？
Is there anything you don't want to eat?
你有什么东西不吃吗？我不吃肉，我吃素。
I don't eat meat. I am a vegetarian.
我不吃肉，我吃素。
I don't eat meat. I eat vegetables.
我不吃肉，我吃素。鸡蛋呢？
What about eggs?
鸡蛋呢？
How about eggs?
鸡蛋呢？鸡蛋可以。
Eggs are okay.
鸡蛋可以。
Eggs should be fine.
鸡蛋可以。
Are you ready, Tom? What is going on here?
Well, I'm trying to practice these characters that you gave me.
Oh my God, all this on paper? Did you not download the Chinese Pod writing app?
Go to ChinesePod.com/app and check out the new Chinese Pod writing app. Practice writing Chinese characters wherever, whenever. The new writing app, only at ChinesePod.com. Save trees, get smart.
Okay, now keep in mind, of course, that we have a clear context here. We're talking about, you're probably in a restaurant at this stage. Well, you could be could be anywhere, I suppose. But the context is clear. You're talking about food and what you eat. So, because some of these sentences are slightly open-ended. So keep in mind that, the context here is in a restaurant. We're talking about restaurants and eating. Now, let's break down the first sentence if we could, please, Jenny.
你有什么东西不吃吗？
Now, the verb to eat is
吃
and the negative is
不吃
and that means not to eat or to refuse to eat or so on. And another useful word is the word for things.
东西
Now, this is as applicable in Mandarin as the word things is applicable in English. In other words, you hear it all the time and can use it. Even if you don't know what a verb, what a noun is, rather. Even in the case of verbs, sometimes you can use it. So, 东西 is extremely useful. Now, you may have picked up on it that the expression was 东西不吃嘛, as in things you don't eat.
And it's a question.
That's right.
Has that ma at the end.
That's
of the
right.
sentence.
And then to start the sentence, you say,
你有什么？你有什么？
Now, the verb 有 means to have. Right? Again, it's a very flexible verb here. 你有什么 as in what do you have, literally.
Yes.
什么 meaning what. Now, 你有什么 literally translated, this means what things do you have that you don't eat, which sounds like a slight contradiction here. But that's the way it is. So the question again is, obviously we're in context here, but literally translated, are there things that you don't eat? Now, the context, meaning, we're in a restaurant or something, I'm about to order. Is there anything that, you really don't like to eat? So let's listen to that sentence one more time.
你有什么东西不吃吗？
Now, great stuff. 你有什么东西不吃吗？你有什么东西 do you have anything 不吃 meaning that you don't eat. Now, after all that, I can just tell you that is a common question. That's a common phrase. That's the common construction. That is something you are likely to hear when somebody's asking you, do you have any preferences? Now, that might not mean, are you a vegetarian? It might just mean, do you want to avoid like snake and scorpion and stuff like that?
Or intestines.
Intestines and stuff like that. So, yes, that is a useful and an important question.
Yeah, or they were asking the positive, is there anything that you want to eat?
That could also be. Yeah.
Either way, our answers will work.
Yeah. And being, we're always very polite in China. So I actually tend to say, 没有没有都可以.
Yeah, you see, that's the cultural thing. But
Yeah.
I guess if you're a vegetarian, then you tend to be more hardcore.
Yeah, that's
hardline.
true. Well, if you're vegetarian, you're going to have to pretty much fight for it. And again, it would depend on the situation. If it was me and it was quite formal, if it was like older and if people inviting you to a formal meal, I kind of would, I probably wouldn't say. I think I would just, nibble at whatever vegetables existed or rice
Yeah,
and
that's
so
a good
on.
idea.
But that's, it's up to you.
Yeah, it depends on the context,
Absolutely.
right? And may I say that in China, we're quite open to people being vegetarians because of the obviously the Buddhist association. And a lot of Chinese are actually vegetarians because of religious.
That's true, but I've also seen a lot of Chinese are also very modest. And so they might have an aversion to some type of food, but they wouldn't say it.
Yes.
And they just wouldn't eat much. But they would pretend it was very nice. But that's a cultural issue. Maybe we could discuss that on the Saturday show sometime. But that was a question. Could we hear that one more time? So, you're in the restaurant now. Is there anything that you really don't want to eat?
你有什么东西不吃吗？
Now, you're with friends. It's not an over-formal meeting. Or you're talking to somebody who works there, indeed. You want to tell them, I don't eat meat.
我不吃肉。我不吃肉。
Now, the noun here is 肉, and that's fourth tone, right?
That's correct.
肉. Now, 肉 is slightly confusing sometimes to the learner because essentially, 肉, it means meat of any kind.
Yes.
But in usage,
it's often
used
means
as pork.
Oh.
Yeah. Because traditionally, pork is a much more common dish than beef. Beef is not
Yes.
a very popular. You just didn't have a whole lot of cows in the past. So 肉 essentially meant pork. So in context, it can mean pork. So don't be confused by that. Now, in this case, it means meat. So one more time, I don't eat meat.
我不吃肉.
Now remember, 吃 meaning to eat, 吃肉 meaning to eat meat. And I don't eat meat is
不吃肉. 不吃肉.
Yep. Now, the next thing literally translated means I eat vegetables.
我吃素.
Now, 我吃素. Tell us about this word 素. It's the fourth tone, isn't it?
That's correct.
Tell us something about this.
素 means vegetarian, vegetables, vegan.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
Or anything that's quite light, more veggie, I suppose.
Okay. Is it an adjective or a noun?
It's an adjective and
a
noun.
noun. Yeah, because in this case, 我吃素 meaning I eat.
Yes.
Vegetarian. How do you say I am a vegetarian? Is there any variation there, or you just say 我吃素?
我吃素 is the most simple way to say. Vegetarian is a very long word in Chinese.
Okay, so we won't go there right now. So if you want to indicate, so that's very clear. If you say this sentence, they'll know you mean as opposed to I don't just want. If you say 我吃素, it means clearly I'm a vegetarian, not just I want to eat vegetables.
Yes,
it's clear.
That's correct.
Okay, just wanted to be really clear on that, Jenny. So once again, I'm a vegetarian.
我吃素. 我吃素.
So there you are there. If it's important to you, if you're traveling, you are a vegetarian, remember that. 我吃素. I'm a vegetarian.
Yes.
Hope that's useful. Now, of course, some vegetarians eat eggs and stuff like that. So the question was, well, how about eggs?
鸡蛋呢? 鸡蛋呢?
Now, dan, as in the fourth tone, once again, it's a generic term. When we say dan, of course, it usually means chicken eggs.
Yes.
In Chinese, you're more likely to indicate. In English, you rarely say, I want chicken eggs. Eggs are just considered.
Just eggs.
So again, the term eggs is
蛋. 蛋.
But quite commonly, we call them
鸡蛋. 鸡蛋.
Now, ji is the first tone and it means chicken. Now, the question here was 鸡蛋呢? Na at the end indicates that it's a question.
Yeah, it means what.
Indeed.
Yeah.
In this case, what about? 鸡蛋呢? What about eggs? And the answer was
鸡蛋可以. 鸡蛋可以.
Now, again, we had 鸡蛋 as in eggs, chicken eggs. 可以. Now, 可以, a super useful phrase here meaning
okay.
Fine. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what about in the case if you didn't want eggs, you could say
鸡蛋不吃 or 不吃鸡蛋.
Okay, so
the same word 不吃.
不吃. Okay, so if you
means
want
I don't eat
eggs. If you don't eat meat and you don't eat eggs in China, you'll be hard pressed to find stuff. But there are lots of vegetarian restaurants around, but there are not that many of them. Actually, there aren't that many, really.
Yeah, there are quite a few near where we work. Yes.
Indeed.
But one thing about Chinese vegetarian eating is we do a lot of sort of mock dishes.
That's right. Stuff that looks like ham and
or fish. You'll be surprised by the variety. But most of them are made of taro paste or soybean. Tofu. Soybean curd.
Interesting. Okay, that was really basic stuff, and I think if it's important to you, of course, if you are a vegetarian, so let's listen to that one more time, please.
你有什么东西不吃吗？
我不吃肉，我吃素。
鸡蛋呢？
鸡蛋可以。
Second time. 你有什么东西不吃吗？
我不吃肉，我吃素。
鸡蛋呢？
鸡蛋可以。
Third time. 你有什么东西不吃吗？
我不吃肉，我吃素。
鸡蛋呢？
鸡蛋可以。
All right, hope that was useful. Hope that will be useful to you on your travels. To let your friends and so on know or in the restaurant that you don't want to eat meat. Now, you will need to drill down into that a little bit more. You know where to find it, ChinesePod.com. It's all there with lots of more exercises and so on. But for now, I think it is time for us to leave. We'll be back again tomorrow, of course, with another lesson. But for now, I think it's time for us to say
再见.
Turning that cave Mandarin into rave Mandarin. ChinesePod.com. Mandarin on your terms.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.ChinesePod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 0175. So just go to www.ChinesePod.com/0175 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.ChinesePod.com/0175.